Against Abuse was incorporated in October of 1981. We are celebrating or commemorating, or whatever you want to call it, 35 years of service to victims of domestic violence and child abuse this year. 2016 is our 35th anniversary. Against Abuse is more than just shelter programs. We also provide lay legal advocacy and case management and community-based services to those folks that don't come into shelter. We have a children's shelter, a 32-bed children's shelter for children that are removed from their homes because of abuse and neglect and exploitation. We also have a transitional living program, and one of my favorite programs, we have an animal safe home system. And that program is for women, mostly women that call that want to come into shelter, but they're afraid to leave their domestic pets for fear that they will be harmed in some way. And we have about 18 safe homes in Pinal County.
It's been an amazing 10 years. And now we're excited to be able to celebrate 11. And I often get the question, why do you have to continue to do the gala and have a fundraiser? Well, the building, we had a nice opening. We had an auction, medicine man come and do a blessing, and it was, once that building was blessed and ready for intake and ready for occupants, it serves it just the way we wanted it to and the way it was planned. And it's full with families that are on a new path and able to make a better life for themselves. And so we're happy to say it's functioning. But the reason we need to continue to have fundraisers is so that we can continue to provide services. Just because the building's open does not mean that everything is all good. There is a constant inflow and an ebb and flow of families that do need help. And it's important for Maricopa and Casa Grande and all of Pinal County that we continue to provide those services to our community.
As a staff member on a day-to-day basis, we see women from all walks of life. We see women who come in with degrees all the way to ground level, such as myself. I like being working from the ground up with the women. They may come in falling into our arms. We never know what we're going to see. But as staff, we've been trained to, as they come in, whatever level they come in, we're there to meet their needs.
One of the reasons I wanted to build a building in Maricopa was because growing up here, there was always domestic violence issues, not just with families, but just in whole. And so as a teacher, I was able to be involved with some of those families. And there wasn't a safe place for them to be able to continue to go to school and have a safe place to recover and to make changes in their lives.
The importance of the gala to us as providing services for the outpatient clients is because many of them can still be in abusive situations. They may be living in that abusive situation, or they may have moved out of that situation and living with a family member, whereas they may not need the services of the shelter, but they still need our services. And many of them are going through a grieving process. They're going through a legal process of how to legally dissolve that relationship, that marriage, and so we help with that. So the services are vital for the people that we serve here in Maricopa, because they still need the help, and without the funding, without the resources, obviously I can't do my job, because we need to do that to be able to help them through that process. And so that's one of the things that I do, is I assist them in being able to move through that process. And then when it comes to the counseling, being able to really grieve that relationship, because I think a lot of people have a misconception that when somebody finally does leave an abusive relationship, although they may be physically safe, it's a journey before they become mentally and emotionally safe, because they've tied themselves to that person, and it's a process for them to be able to heal from that process, that abuse. And so the services that we provide in regards to counseling allow them to have that healing journey.
It's not about judging who needs to go in and who doesn't need to go in. For me, it's about, if they need help, then I want to be able to make sure that as a city we're able to do that. And Against Abuse is one of the most amazing and high-functioning agencies out there. We don't turn anybody away. We don't operate on a waiting list. And to me, that was important, because when a survivor says, I need to come into shelter, then they need to come in immediately, because it's really hard to make that decision. So with the building here in Maricopa, it's made it convenient to be able to serve the families here and to be able to make Maricopa a safer place, because as you know, domestic violence not just affects that family that may be in that situation, but it affects the neighbors, the neighborhood, the schools, the churches. So it's an outlying situation that really, as a community, we should embrace.
It's not just a job. We've walked in their shoes, which makes it even better. So we can identify with them totally when they come in. The shame, the guilt, the not wanting to be there. Sometimes they come in, they may not stay. They may decide to go back home after a few days. But we want them to know that we are there. We're there to support them, whatever their decision is, because it is absolutely their decision to stay or go. Our goal is to provide them with everything that we can, so that whatever time, whenever they go back out the doors again, that they will leave there better than they did when they came in.
The gala is an affirmation for the work that we do. There's so many people that we meet, and so many more that we don't have a chance to meet. And when we come to the gala, everybody's there, and we know that everyone is there because they have empathy for the situations that we face every day. And it also is a great affirmation for the staff and our board of directors for the work that we do on a daily basis. So, and it's fun. It's really, really fun.
And the other aspect is the financial piece of it. We get so much of the gala items and entertainment and food and whatever it takes, but it's donated. So it's an opportunity for businesses to also come together and not only advertise, but to support a common good and a common cause that affects all of us in Maricopa. And that's what's fun about it, is everybody gets to come together. We get to smile, we get to celebrate, and we get to have a great time while raising money that goes directly back to the communities that we live in.